So everyone, today we're covering the complete checklist for testing if your proxy is actually working. You might believe your traffic is routed through the proxy when it's actually bypassing it entirely, leaking your real IP through DNS or WebRTC, or connecting through a different proxy than the one you intended. Work through each phase in order, whether you're setting up a new proxy for the first time or auditing an existing one. The first phase is basic connectivity. Before testing anything else, confirm your client can reach the proxy server and that the proxy can reach the internet. Use a command line tool to check if your machine can reach the proxy server's port. If this fails, the issue is network connectivity, not proxy configuration. Check firewall rules, DNS resolution, and network routing. Wakapika, Wakapika, accountable port forging, strictly STLMS will check the HTTP 200. If you get a 407, your credentials are incorrect. After that, test both HTTP and HTTPS requests through the proxy. Both should return a JSON response with an IP address that is not your real IP. If the HTTP test succeeds but HTTPS fails, the proxy may not support a connect method for HTTPS tunneling. The second phase is IP address verification, which is the most fundamental proxy test. Does the outside world see the proxy IP instead of your real IP? Check your apparent IP by comparing what an external service reports against your real IP. They should be different. If they are the same, your traffic is not routing through the proxy. Don't rely on a single IP check service. Test with several different ones. All should report the same proxy IP. If results differ, some traffic may be leaking. If your proxy provider tells you which IP you should see, also verify it matches what the IP check services return. Hence, phase 3 is DNS leak testing. Even if your HTTP traffic routes through the proxy, DNS queries may leak through your local connection. Visit a DNS leak test service through your proxy or run a packet capture from the command line. If you see DNS queries going outside the proxy tunnel, DNS is leaking. For SOC 5 proxy, configure remote DNS resolution to prevent this. Or even with IPv4 DNS properly proxied, IPv6 DNS queries may leak separately. Check if your system has IPv6 connectivity. If it does, that traffic may bypass the proxy. Today, phase 4 covers WebRTC leaks. WebRTC can expose your real IP even when all HTTP traffic reads through the proxy. Visit a WebRTC leak test page through your proxy browser or test programmatically. If your real IP appears in the results, disable WebRTC in your browser settings or use a browser extension to prevent it. Press the menu. 5 is geolocation verification. If you selected a specific geographic location for your proxy, confirm it by querying a geolocation API and checking the country, city, and region fields. For mobile proxies, also verify the ISP field shows a mobile carrier name rather than a data center name. Advanced anti-fraud systems also check whether your browser's time zone matches your IP's geographic location. If your proxy is in New York but your browser reports a different time zone, the mismatch may flag your session. Some proxies add headers that reveal you are using a proxy. The ones to watch for are X forwarded for and X real IP, which contain your real IP, and via and proxy authorization, which indicate proxy use. A higher anonymity or elite proxy should not add any of these. If they appear, your proxy is transparent or anonymous level, not elite. Also verify the proxy supports the HTTP versions your applications need, including HTTP2 if required. Measure latency by comparing proxy request times against direct requests. Reasonable overhead is 50 to 200 milliseconds of additional latency. Also test throughput by measuring download speed through the proxy, and test concurrent connections by sending multiple simultaneous requests. All should succeed. If some fail, the proxy may have connection limits. Phase 8 covers rotation and session behavior. For rotating proxies, verify the IPs actually rotate by checking the reported IP across multiple requests. You should see different IPs across requests unless you are using sticky sessions. If using sticky sessions, verify the IP remains consistent across requests for the full session duration. Combine all these tests into a single script for repeated use, so you can run the full checklist automatically whenever needed. Run it after initial proxy setup, after changing proxy providers or plans, after OS or browser updates, after network environment changes, weekly for production configurations, and whenever any checklist item fails. A proxy is only useful if it actually works as intended. A partial configuration that routes HTTP traffic to the proxy but leaks DNS queries, WebRTC data, or reveals proxy headers is worse than no proxy at all because it creates a false sense of security. Work through every phase of this checklist, address any failures, and automate the testing process for ongoing verification. The 30 minutes invested in thorough testing prevents hours of debugging, failed scraping jobs, banned accounts, or compromised research data. That's everything for today on how to test if your proxy is actually working. Check out our other guides at dataresearchtools.com for more content on related topics. Until next time, take care and happy browsing.